Life Management Science Labs would like to acknowledge that we live and produce this podcast on the traditional lands of the Wurundjeri people. We'd also like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the lands of our listeners and our international colleagues. We'd like to thank and pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Hi everyone, and welcome to Room by Room, the Home Organisation Science Insights podcast, produced by LMSL, the Life Management Science Labs. We're champions of life management science, providing structured insights informed by science and inspired by practice on key aspects of conscious living. Each week we bring you scientific and practical insights on each element, with the expert knowledge of professionals in the field. I'm your host, Gabriella Yastra, coming to you from Naarm, Melbourne, Australia. Let's begin.
Hello and welcome back to Room by Room, the Home Organisation Science Insights podcast. Now, in the heart of every home stands the kitchen, which serves as a hub for daily nourishment and creativity. But amidst the chaos of daily life and meal prepping, achieving and maintaining seamless organisation can often feel impossible. So today we'll be guided by architectural writer and curator Pooja Khanna Tyagi, committed to offering simple and practical solutions for design. Pooja started her career as an architect and interior designer and has since lent her words to Indian and international media on global platforms like Architectural Digest and Houzz. So we're really fortunate to have her here with us today. Hi Pooja, how are you going?
I'm doing really well. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. So I'm really curious to know, in your experience, what is the most common misconception you've heard about kitchen organization?
I think kitchen organization is not given that kind of relevance the way it deserves, because a kitchen is actually taken for granted. But when a person is actually working in the kitchen, whether that person is just dedicated to the family or having a career side by side, I think that person knows what goes into managing a kitchen. Because I think one who can manage the kitchen very nicely, because that forms a nucleus of the home, can actually handle anything very nicely. I think our careers and the way we work in our offices, that is comparatively much easier than organizing the kitchen. In fact, in one line, an organized kitchen is actually can be handled by someone who's very organized in all aspects of their life. Otherwise, we tend to get deviated. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I am a firm believer as well that having a very organized, systematic kitchen can really help you immensely with your food prep and creating meals that, are innovative and sparking that inspiration. So that's a great introduction to our topic for today, and I'd love to go further into detail with you. But before that, I'd also really like to get to know you better. So this is Have You Met Pooja? And my first question for you is, as an interior designer and architect, what is your favorite space in your home?
My favorite space in my home is the hallway, because it is a long and narrow space. So, it helps in giving me a lot of breaks, because when you're writing, and this is always a mental block. So when you start walking with having some music on, you actually tend to distract yourself and come back to form. So there are a lot of creative juices flowing again. You just walk till you actually get relieved of the mental block. You actually come back to your table again. And since it's just next to my room where I work, I think that's my favorite space.
Yeah, and I love how sometimes these days I'm seeing a lot of really creative decor pieces in hallways and entryways as well. And I love seeing stuff like vanities that are repurposed for like a entryway cabinet as well. And there's so many things that you can do there. So the entryways definitely and the hallway are definitely really inspiring spaces to be in. But apart from that, do you have a favorite feature in your home?
Like, I have a lot of niches. There's a Buddha behind me. So, if I could change the camera a little, you'll see it. So, things like these give a lot of calmness to the home. They create a lot of positive energy. So, in my house, actually, there are a lot of small nooks and corners where the focus lighting is on something very serene and meditative. So, we actually, your house is in a meditative spirit. and you're all working to your full potential. So I think these
Yeah.
are the small things we really love.
Yeah, I really like how big and large the Buddha piece is as well. Some people are afraid of going big, but I feel like sometimes having that grand piece there just on its own or with very little complementary pieces, it can make your space look so clean but so magnificent at the same time.
And
So I really like,
restful.
yeah, and
And
restful.
restful. Yes.
Yeah, so I really like what you did there. And how often do you use your kitchen?
Kitchen daily basis, yes, in the
Daily
morning.
basis?
Although
Yeah.
in India we do have that advantage of having a cook and everything, but still, we have to come to the kitchen every day, and the way we work very fast and organize everything. So yes, a kitchen is definitely a part of every woman's space. You have to be in the kitchen and work around it and create a kind of discipline and balance so that everyone can function around.
Mhm. And what do you like most about your kitchen?
I like I have an open kitchen. So it's a kind of spaciousness where 2, 3 people can function together. And we've done a very good zoning. Like, the washing and cleaning is on one side, the cooking is at a different level. We have a small counter space for having the mixer and grinder, and differently sized drawers. So a kind of organized space. At least we know where to put something so that we get it easily. Although, it gets shuffled and disorganized in another 2, 3 days, but it's a continuous process for sure.
Yeah, I feel like a lot
I
of
think segregation and zoning has been done nicely. Like it's
yeah, segregation and zoning are super important. I feel like there's a misconception with open kitchens where there's no segregation at all, but there is with peninsulas and like kitchen islands and stuff like that. And it also allows people to convene, and you can kind of combine it with your living space. It allows people to come and entertain you while you cook, or for you to entertain your guests while you prepare for the dinner. So I feel like open kitchens are definitely, especially in Asian cultures, are quite underrated. I feel like. So yeah, but my next question for you is: as an architectural curator and writer, what interior styles do you have a soft spot for?
I think, it's a combination of minimalism and transitional style. Now, why minimalism? Because what form follows function. So right now, I think we have to focus on storage, make the most of whatever is available. But since the minimal style for Asian countries, Southeast Asian countries, we don't go with it. So we need our colors, we need those decorative pieces. We like our florals, botanical prints, and everything. So I think minimalism when it comes to planning, so that we make optimum utilization of everything, whether it be the area below the staircase, or bringing in a lot of built-in storage, or making optimal use of the walls. And somewhere we should not compromise on our decor, because we like to decorate our homes.
So thank you for sharing with us a bit about your personal style and your favorite spots in your home. I feel like we got to know you a bit better, but before we move on to the interview section, I want to ask you one last question, and that is, do you have a role model either in your professional life or your personal life?
I think my biggest role model is my mother, because within limited means, she knew how to make the most of whatever she had, whether it be decorating her home or bringing us up. And, she was a teacher, a culinary teacher. She used to conduct cooking classes and all. And her table was just 4 feet wide. And yet, so much food used to get cooked over there, but it would always be so spick and span. So, in limited means, she did very well. Obviously, now she's doing very well for herself. She runs a successful homestay. So, fine, she's definitely my role model. And whatever she did from the comfort of her home. So, the work from home culture has come today, but it's in our system since we were young. So, yes, she's my role model for sure.
So thank you for sharing that with us. That was a really sweet story. Now we'll move on to the interview section. And my first question for you is, how do you define a home organization?
Home organization, I think it's a very important topic of the home. Whether you live in a rented apartment or have a nice house of your own, whether it's a compact home or a spacious home, the way you organize yourself, how do you strategically locate all your belongings, and how it functions to create a clutter-free environment is basically home organization. Basically, in one sentence, home organization is creating a clutter-free and organized environment so that you know what is where have you kept something, and it's not only for you, it's for every member of the family. And if the house is clutter-free, it's a very balanced atmosphere. It does not only make the house look good, but everybody function very nicely, because a cluttered house creates a cluttered mind, and that cluttered mind can create any kind of chaos, whether it be while you're working, studying, and it does not only affect elders but even children. It will distract them from their studies and create a cluttered environment even for that place. So I think home organization is creating a clutter-free space.
Mm-hmm.
And how to achieve it, everyone will have their different styles of achieving the same.
Mm-hmm. And in your professional experience, what is the importance of organization specifically in the kitchen?
See, again, the kitchen forms the nucleus of a home, the heart of the home. The whole family revolves around that. It could be your breakfast, your husband's breakfast, your kids' tiffin works, coming back to having lunch and dinner. So, your kitchen is the nucleus of the home. So if you, as I said before, if you know how to manage a kitchen and organize that space nicely, everything else falls in place automatically. But if you do not know how to handle the kitchen, I don't think your house will actually fall in a very nice and coordinated way. And in India, there's a saying, if you want to know about the person, just enter that person's kitchen and bathroom. You'll get to know a lot about that person. So I think these two areas are very, very important.
Yeah. And what's really interesting is that research has actually shown that behavioral aspects of kitchen organization, like limited storage, safety in design, and lighting in food prep areas, are also crucial for supporting home cooking and dining as well. So when organizing the kitchen for more efficient meal prep, what do you think are the key aspects to take into consideration here?
First of all, storage is very important. The first thing is you have to maximize your space and get as much storage as possible. Because if you do not have storage, how will you do your segregation and organization? Now, this could be, and again, many of us are living in cities. In cities, we do not have lavish homes. We have very compact spaces. It's very easy to say, and it is somewhat true only, that it is so compact that, it gets cluttered so easily. So that is where, your creativity and your skills have to come into play. You have to create organization. Now, you have to increase the storage. Now, how can you do that? Like, suppose you have overhead cabinets only to a certain height. You just increase the vertical storage by pulling it up till the ceiling height. Suppose you have shelves and you feel half of the shelves is not being used. You go for stackable containers, stackable utensils. You can always have there are a lot of modular fittings and accessories available. You can actually use the under cabinet to hang your cups, your ladders, your spoons and everything, so that everything is in easy reach. If nothing works, you can actually have a pegboard which have those great, and you can hang whatever you want. So basically, the more you create organized spaces and do your zoning, the more easy it will help you to navigate, and you will not be spending time in searching for things and organization, and you'll actually put that time in cooking in a faster way. Because what happens? Yes. What happens is that, if you go in the middle of cooking, say all of us are working, and you start your meal preparation, only then you see you can't find your spoon, you can't find your plates. That creates mental stress. So we don't want that. The moment you are stressed, it spreads everywhere to different aspects of the home. So that has to be controlled at that point itself.
Yeah,
so organization is very important. Yes.
Yeah, I really like what you said about the stackable containers. Surprisingly, my mom actually did that with our home, and surprisingly, she got them from one of those really cheap value dollar stores, like the $2 stores. And so it can be really, really affordable to do on your own, and it's rental friendly, so you don't need to actually remodel your entire home for that to work. And I love what you said about using what you already have, the ladders, step stools, or little just railings that are around and drawers that to put your towels on and your utensils on as well. That's just making use of what you already have and being really resourceful. Are there any other rental friendly tips you might have?
Again, many of us are having small kids. We have to be sure, our kitchen is safe. Whether it be having a small door so that the child does not cross and enter it. Because it's very easy. Now we have those built-in stoves and, they're taking the whole 2 feet counter space. So we are having 4 burners. And if something is there and our utensils are having those handles, it is very easy for a child to actually touch the handle and will fall on that child. So we have to be very careful when the children are there, not to let them enter. But if they are entering, use a rare side burners so that they do not get injured even if they try to do something. The corners should be rounded so that they do not get hurt. Child proofing is definitely important. And the ventilation systems have to be in place, like, the chimney, the exhaust fan, so that the fumes do not actually surround the whole home. Because in Southeast Asian cooking, we are definitely using a lot of masalas, ginger, garlic, and it actually creates a lot of smoke and soot in the home. So our ventilation systems, our chimney has to work very well, even if it is a rental or this. And the next important factor is surely lighting. Now, again, our kitchen is divided into areas like the work surfaces where we are doing the cooking, we are doing the cleaning, and we are doing the chopping and everything. We must have task lighting. Now, what is task lighting? Task lighting is focused lighting so that at least we can see what we are cutting, chopping, and cleaning. Because, vegetables tend to have a lot of insects also in them. We should be able to see them properly. So, or by chance, when we are cleaning, we should not miss any stain or anything. So lighting is very important, and it will not create eye strain. And obviously the ambient lighting or the general lighting of the kitchen has to make it bright. And we should never underestimate the value of natural light. If we have a window, make sure you open it, because a lot of chemicals and gases are coming out from our cooking. When we are cooking, everything just mixes. A lot of soot and grime comes in. The moment we open the window, the stale indoor air is surely getting replaced by fresh outdoor air. So whenever possible in the mornings, please open the windows, bring in sunlight. Sunlight is a natural disinfectant. Yes, that's what it is.
And when it comes to efficient meal prep, what sort of storage or systems are particularly effective?
Fine. In meal preparation, now the first of all, if we notice, like suppose we have 100 things in our kitchen, we are using just 30. 70 are extra. So make sure we identify this 30 things what we need when we cook, and we keep it at our hands distance, so that we just lift our hand and we can get it. Whether it be those basic spices, the basic spoons, the basic utensils what we use for everyday cooking, not our dinner sets which come out when the guests come and everything. We must make sure that those 30% are within our reach, and we are not spending too much time in searching for them. And the rest is dead storage. Like, you just put it away, and when something comes, we'll actually go there and have it. So the first thing is like having whatever you need in your arm's distance. Number 2, I think, kitchen ingredients. They are very important. It should not happen. You whatever way you want to organize, whether you want to do it in transparent containers so that you can see whatever is there and what is not there, or you want to go through the process of labeling and everything. That can also be done. And before cooking, make sure whatever you need is there. it should not happen that you have started cooking and you realize this is not there and that is not there. Because of the over there, that's where your efficiency will just go for a toss. So efficiency means having everything nearby and make sure everything is there, or you just do some planning 5 minutes. It will make your work very fast. Otherwise, overall you spend in the kitchen only organizing and everything, and you will feel it's really so it's such a thankless job. So minimizing time, optimizing efficiency, and definitely there has to be workflow. Like, you will have to multifunction and multitask between your refrigerator, your cooktop, and your sink, so that everything goes hand in hand. That is the basic.
Yeah, that's really good advice. I can think of so many countless times that I've wanted to reach for a certain appliance, like a food processor or something for my meal prep, but it's just so out of reach that I couldn't be bothered. And all the times that I didn't set out all my ingredients beforehand, and I've got to go searching for them in the middle of cooking it, and it's always such a chore. It's such a chore. It is really, really distracting and really, really stressful. So that's really, really great advice. Are there any design trends or layouts that surprisingly lend themselves well to the efficient meal prep or cooking processes?
Like, see, again, there are two types of kitchens. One is like, where you're designing a new kitchen that will be ergonomically designed as per how you work around it. And the second is that this is your kitchen, you have to work around it. So we'll talk about that. We are not creating new kitchen, but working with what we have. I think the design trend is definitely, if you're going for a new kitchen, you can always have a galley kitchen, so that you are actually shuffling between the food storage and the sink and the cooking very easily. That is if you're building something new. If you have a spacious kitchen, not everyone are so lucky to have very spacious homes and kitchens. You'll have the luxury of a kitchen island. But again, we are talking about a practical space which fits everyone who can afford it very well. You have a nice kitchen island, you have your storage, your built-in appliances over there. But those who do not have it, who are living in rentals, who are living by themselves, I think it's kitchen organization. That is a trend. Try and go for modular kitchen accessories if you're ready to spend on something, like, those bottle pull-out racks and everything. Make everything easily. If you do not want to invest in that, you please go for storage baskets, so that you segregate your sauces in one basket, your spices in another basket, your lentils in another basket. That way you get your organization. So not every time you have to spend, but to make yourself efficiency and seeing your budget, you see what actually works well for you. There are a lot of things which can be done by spending, but again, a lot of things which can be done without spending. So we look at the practical aspects. Yeah.
That is so true. I myself did what I did in my kitchen, because I live in a pretty small apartment and I don't really want to spend more money on another countertop or another island. So when I got a new TV bench, my old TV bench that I couldn't be bothered to, I honestly couldn't be bothered to get rid of it. I put it in the middle of my kitchen because it was small enough and it was low. So it didn't look like it was taking up too much space, but it was like kind of additional countertop space almost for me to put anything that I wasn't currently using but had to use soon, because there isn't a lot of countertop space on my main kitchen bench. So that's what I did. And are there any unorthodox kitchen solutions that you found or you've heard of in your time as an architectural writer?
Another, I think, again, it depends where are you staying. Are you staying in a rental apartment or your home apartment? Now, if we start giving solutions where you actually have to dismantle things and then create, no one is going to actually follow it, because it's going to cost, it just goes in the air. But again, working with what you have, keep it neat, keep it clean. And if you're actually creating something new, go for minimalistic interiors, go for white surfaces. Suppose it is a high traffic area, you can actually go for dark colors. Bring in your your personal sense of style in your kitchen wherever possible. But the idea is how to navigate in a disciplined way. Again, for a kitchen, I think it's form follows function. The kitchen has to function properly first. The aesthetics comes as the second sucker, because that kitchen is of no use if you do not know how to organize it, but it looks very beautiful. Ultimately, it's a beautiful kitchen which is cluttered is not so good, but a small kitchen which is uncluttered but neat and clean works better. Again, food is something which we take in. It's the life force which actually helps us function. So it is a kind of, it is associated with cleanliness, clean food. The slogan is eat clean, especially because we are surrounded by so much climate change, pollution, a lot of pesticides going. So we have to eat clean. So we need a neat and clean kitchen first, whether it's a small home or a rental apartment for sure. And another trend is many people are living alone. And the junk food culture has actually spread across the world. So many millennials or Gen Z, they don't want to put in too much effort in cooking. So just have an organized space. Even if you have to cook a little bit, you're actually eating clean. So I think that's very important.
Yeah. And what are your thoughts on over organizing? There are lots of cleanliness or kind of organization content all over social media right now, where people kind of deport or take products, cleaning products or kitchen products out of the original packaging and sorting them into all these different see-through jars and labeling everything when there's not really a need to. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's quite a good thing. But for kitchen cleanliness, what you need is a multi-purpose cleaner and baking soda. Believe me, a combination of baking soda and vinegar is enough to clean whatever you want. But if you actually are getting carried away by the products and you are liking the products, no issues. Use it. At least, it gives you that motivation to clean. I know many people who love buying and investing in new cleaning products and trying how it looks. And there are a lot of natural fragrances which come in the cleaning products. So it gives a nice kind of thrill and chill to the kitchen, and you feel very nice about working. So it is again both ways. If you are very fond of these cleaning products, please go buy them, label them nicely. And if you want to work with bare minimum, work with baking soda and vinegar, that also works. Clean your surfaces nicely with multi-purpose cleaners. But you must invest in a lot of cloths, because they tend to get dirty very fast. So many kitchens just have limited inventory for that. Over there, please, that's not very expensive. So that you keep cleaning it nicely over and over again. That does not be a reason the kitchen is bad because the cloth is not good and everything. And for keeping the cleaning products, we have a lot of modular accessories nowadays. And the area under the sink is a prime area that is actually used for keeping that. So again, this leads to a kind of zoning where we keep our dustbin under the sink. And we have a lot of accessories for keeping our cleaning products, our cleaning tools and everything. So that space, because that is full of moisture and everything, we can't keep any kitchen ingredients. So definitely it works as a janitor's closet. And we can keep them nicely over there along with the dustbin, or maybe some people can keep the compost bin if they do not have an outdoor space to keep it.
Yeah, that's really, really good advice. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Now we're moving on to the practices and habits section. And my first question for you is, what is a habit that you practice when maintaining your kitchen for meal prep?
The first thing is in India, we use a lot of spices, and all the spices tend to look similar if you're not used to cooking and all. So it's very important to label them nicely so that in a transparent container, so that when it's over, when to get the next lot. And the containers have to be transparent so that you can see what is there, what is not there. And having the storage is very important so that you know where to get your things from. And not only use any person who wants to go to the kitchen, at least you can give them nice instructions, or even the family member knows that, yes, this is a space for this tool. I have to keep it back over there, and this is what I will get from there. So I think those are the small practices which are very important. And getting the kitchen cleaned, whether it's you or by help or whatever, a clean kitchen definitely reduces the clutter and makes the whole space very organized. because in open house homes is usually located with the living room. The moment your kitchen looks cluttered, the whole house starts looking cluttered. So that's very important.
Yeah, I also feel like the moment clutter is there, it's very, very easy to snowball and build up. And then it just discourages you from cooking, it discourages you from cleaning. So that's definitely something that needs to be done. A lot of chefs also just frankly encourage people to clean as you go because it just makes it a lot easier. It's easier to clean something when the food remnants aren't completely dried out. Yeah, and you don't need to use boiling water to get rid of it or baking soda. And the spices thing as well, like I think in Western culture, even there's so many, like there's sugar and salt that from far look very, very similar. And if you don't label them, you're gonna have to keep tasting it every single time you want to use it. And I know that in my partner's house, there's like baking soda, and then there's baking powder, and then there's like all these different white powders that aren't labeled, and it drives me insane because like the consistency sometimes are pretty similar, but then the moment you use it wrongly, like cream of tartar versus like baking soda, the moment you use it wrongly, everything's going to go awry with what you've just cooked. So I feel like in any culture really, just labeling your spices,
Labeling
or
is
like,
very important.
yeah,
And
labeling
do
helps.
invest in nice jars, transparent
Yeah.
jars, because it will encourage you to put the labels and put the ingredients inside them,
Yeah.
so that you can actually differentiate what is there, what is not there. Because we are all running a rat race and we have very limited time. If we spend that time in searching for things, the joyful experience of cooking actually becomes stressful. And they say that the taste of the food when you're joyful is different, and when you're working in stress and cooking, the taste is different. So the energy is also what you're putting in. If you're cooking with stress, you're putting stress inside the food, so that will be consumed by the family members. But if you're cooking very joyfully, that energy goes inside, so that becomes a life force for everyone. So this is also very important.
Yeah. And what would you say, especially when someone is trying to start with their labeling processes, in order to just make everything a bit more organized for their meal prep? What would you say are some of the challenges they might face, and how would you address them?
The first challenge is that they will feel that is this really work to do, because they're so busy to working in their offices or their spaces as corporate leaders and everything. If you ask them to if they start labeling their things and all, they'll feel it's, why am I spending so much energy in that? But believe me, you have to label it only once, and it functions for 12 months, 18 months, 2 years, so the label does not go bad. So it is worth that investment. Like, initially you might spend one whole day only in labeling and putting those ingredients inside those boxes. But eventually you realize it makes life simple in the long run. So these challenges will be there where you will ask yourself, why am I actually doing this? But eventually you'll realize that yes, it was worth the effort.
For sure. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. I feel like I've learned so much from you, and it's been such a great time chatting with you. Now, moving on to the open mic section, this is your chance to talk about anything that you're passionate about that doesn't have to be related to the topic. So the floor is yours. Take it away.
Passionate, like, see, many of us, we are architects, and architecture is not given that kind of importance the way it has. But somewhere all of us are surrounded by spaces, surrounded by buildings, whether it be the inside or the outside. We are all using spaces without even realizing there's an architect or a mind behind that. So I think we have to be, all of us have to be more responsible. I'm quite passionate that live with nature. Like, first of all, many people are not opening their windows nowadays. That is so important, that your house has to be well ventilated, bring in that sunshine, open that windows, because that will bring in a lot of positive energy. And if any negative energy is created in the home, there's actually a flow where it actually moves out and new things come inside. Because only then you'll be able to function creatively. And yes, try to bring nature inside, bring plants, and live nicely, live mindfully. definitely what I'm passionate about.
Yeah. So
Follow yourself. Yeah. Follow your thought process. Your mind will surely guide you wherever you want.
Yeah. So what would you hope to see in the future of architecture and architectural journalism?
Architectural journalism, see, like right now, we are definitely in a world that is disrupted by AI. Suddenly, every person can write, every person is a journalist. But it's very important to filter good content from generic and AI content. Like, see, we are all using AI, but the soul is ours, the story is ours. We cannot lose that essence. So definitely, journalism, it is a survival of the fittest right now, because AI is there to has already disrupted it. Like, see, suppose you want to write an Insta post. Anyone, initially you had to put so much of thought into it. Right now, you just give the prompts and it is ready. You just ask ChatGPT to put it in 250 words. They're giving it to you. So it is surely survival of the fittest right now. And we are living in a world, we have to think about futuristic careers and roles which cannot be replaced by the technology. And it's not disruption in India, it's worldwide. We're having a lot of layoffs because a lot of things are being replaced for which we needed minds.
For sure. And before we end off, do you have any last pieces of advice you'd like to share with our audience regarding kitchen organization and meal prepping?
Again, we don't limit it to kitchen organization. Organizing your kitchen is actually organizing your life, because you are spending time at home. If you don't know to organize that space, that is not only, we don't call it the kitchen. That is, a kitchen is an extension of us. If we know to organize a kitchen, be sure we know to organize ourselves. We know to organize our wardrobes. Like, suppose, you're going for office in the morning and you open your wardrobe, which is so cluttered. Before even going to work, you entered your day with a cluttered mind. So if everything is zoned nicely and organized nicely, you'll be at a very nice and neutral meditative level, and you'll actually navigate through your day very nicely. So definitely organization and discipline is the key for everything. It's not only the kitchen, it's you also.
I actually feel so called out right now because this is a great reminder for me to get my wardrobe and my kitchen organized. I've been putting it off for weeks at this point, but it's so easy to keep putting it off once you've done it the first time. So definitely I do urge everyone out there to just do the first step, keep on going, keep on maintaining that, because once you stop, it's similar to working out almost. When once you stop, it's hard to pick it back up. So thank you for sharing your insight with us today. It's been such a delight having this chat with you. If our listeners want to find out more about you and what you do, where can they go?
I'm very active on LinkedIn, and I'm there on Instagram. I think LinkedIn is a place where you'll actually find me more active, and communicating with everyone, And my stories do go live on Architectural Digest, India Design, Yanko Design, where we are creating a lot of how-to guidebooks. We are taking small situations and how to navigate through those guidebooks and create a better organized lifestyle via interior design and architecture. So I'm everywhere and personally on LinkedIn.
That's amazing. We'll link those in the show notes. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We hope you learned something about organizing your kitchen, which is basically organizing your life. And we'll catch you in the next episode.
You've been listening to Room by Room, produced by the Home Organisation Science Labs, a division of LMSL, the Life Management Science Labs. More episodes like this from across 10 life management perspectives can be found by searching LMSL on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, and other podcasting apps available on your smart devices. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider rating our show, sharing it, and subscribing to our channel, as it helps other people find it so we can grow and bring you more quality resources. More of our work can be found on our website at ho.lmsl.net, where you can join our movement. I'm Gabriella Yastra. Thanks for tuning in.